tidy pit pot. That would be over.
only goes over a tenth of a second faster.
Testing 1 2. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another round here of Formula Trout. Though not another round, another test race here in Formula Trout. My name's Angel Reveloke. Alex Cochrane should be joining us soon, but as of right now, we're going to be enjoying test race 2. It's gonna be an exciting test race. New hybrids, the X 2026 made by Racing Studio is going to be tested, and it's going to be C, and we're going to see if this is what we want to run for this season. So I'm about to swap over and watch them for practice. Probably we'll watch them for the last few bits of practice. As around 10 minutes left in the session, as we should swap over sooner than later, as we'll hop on board with Cody Lawrence, or not on board, but we'll watch him. As you notice a few new things about the stream, new graphics for us here in Formula Trout. Big thanks to, if I'll find his name on Race Department, I'll probably link him on the stream, Maximilian. We're gonna. Oh, he's gonna be in the link. His username's gonna be the link. Great guy in Race Department, helped us out with these graphics. He's made a bunch of different leaderboard apps and mods for a set of course. So it's a big help to have some very nice graphics on the stream. ACTV did as well, but this looks very nice. So thanks again to him. It's gonna be in the link description. You can check out his Race Department page. So yeah, but what you're watching right now is some of our Trout drivers take on this classic Formula 1 track of the Nurburgring with these new 2026 hybrid powered machines, Formula 1 cars. I don't know, I'm just trying to say big words. But yeah, X 2026, obviously, next year is 2025. We aren't skipping a year, but this is the next generation of F1 cars after 2025. Almost half the power is created by the MGUK, the hybrid. Almost half of it is created by the hybrid. A lot less drag, it weighs a lot less, it's a bit smaller, and active aero. Which you can see with Cody Lawrence setting a few purple sectors as he bounces over that curb. Both the rear wing and front wing go into a low drag mode on the DRS straights. The Washup's coming around the lap, sets a 1 minute 21.3. I think Bossett is in P1 as Steve Stevenson actually goes up and beats Cody Lawrence. Yeah, Bossert is in P1 with a time of 127.8. Nico Bossert. So let's see what he can do later on in this race. As I think Alex, hello.
Hello.
Hello. We have Alex in here to join us. Watching just practice right now. I was looking at these new cars by RSS.
Yeah, it's good to see them on track finally. We've been waiting quite a long time for some new Formula hybrid from RSS. Been over, I think, about 18 months since the 2023 RSS came out, so it's good to finally be on track with something new. See how the drivers handle it.
Yep, it's gonna be interesting to see how these races. Obviously, these just came out I think, I don't even remember, like almost not, if not like a week ago, I think. I'm bad with time, but these are relatively
It was
new
about 10
cars.
days ago.
Yeah, it's around a week and a half since these cars came out, and relatively very little time, I feel, to test something that's so radically different from something like the Hybrid 23. With all the new ERS modes and deployments. But I do know people like Lawrence Stevenson, and a lot of them have put on a lot of laps into this car to understand how it works.
Yeah, it's just so different. I mean, Formula Trout League, you know, this is the Premier Series now. It used to be called the Hybrid Series because it was the Formula Hybrid. It was basically the 2017 onward spec Formula One inspired car, let's say, the RSS Formula Hybrid. All had the same ERS modes, all had the same DRS design, and now, yeah, something different. You know, I think it's 600 horsepower from the combustion engine, and then another 400 horsepower from the. Oh, it's not really KERS. It's, you know, just incredible amounts of deployment compared to what they used to have, but then not much more energy, which is the interesting thing. So it's really like rocket ship out the corners, and then you have to back off a little bit out the corner that Lawrence is going through there. It'll definitely be just full deploy, and then you just get to the end of the straight, it'll just back off a little bit and let it, you know, recover so you can get it at the start of the next straight after that. But the same with the DRS, you know, you've got the active aero. So the straight that Lawrence is coming on here, you see the DRS, but it's not really DRS anymore. Active aero, you see the front wing flaps open, the rear wing flaps open. You know, even less drag than the DRS reduction system would have taken off. Brakes super late into the corner though. When you hit the brakes, they flip back forwards to give you the downforce that you need for braking. So yeah, completely different animal really, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on with it because it is just so different. Like 7 years of racing Formula Trout, and it's the first. Well, I don't want to say it's the first new thing we've got, but it's the first kind of overhaul of the Formula regulations that we've had. As Lawrence does set provisional pole. Well, no, we're in practice. Sorry.
Yeah, it's provisional pole in his heart. Yeah, so it's the fastest time of 1:27.8. The 6 minutes left in this practice session. Basically, just a warm-up session for these guys. Some of them running quali runs, some of them practicing a bit of race pace. We'll see how all of it plays out. Difficult with someone. You have Bossert setting some purple sectors. He was just leading this session just not too long ago. Coda Lawrence took that from him. Let's see if he can take it back. He has that active air open on the back straight through this very tight chicane here at the Nurburgring. The curbing, I know these cars obviously still ground effect cars like the current generation, so the curbing is a big issue with these. Not as much as they were early on with the 22 cars, but still, you want to try to avoid these curbs, it seems.
They look nimble though. I'll give them that. You know, these new regulation cars are a bit shorter, a bit smaller. I think a little bit lighter as well. And I think they do look a bit more nimble than the kind of bulky cars that we've seen for the last few years.
Yeah, I think they're around, if I remember correctly, just a few 100 kilograms lighter than the current gen. A tiny bit smaller lengthwise, so that should help the racing a good bit. And obviously, like you said earlier, the KERS, or not really KERS, the deployment, I forgot what it's called, like the over boost? It's like a ginormous boost of energy these things can deploy. We've seen it a bit in practice, just off stream, obviously, when these guys are testing on their own times, how powerful the ERS can be on this car. It's going to be interesting how that plays out in the race.
Yeah, it's because they don't have, you know, the new Formula One regulations in 2026, which this hybrid car is kind of inspired by, to say. They have, you know, the deployment is controlled. It's kind of replaced the DRS where they can vary the deployment depending on how far they are to the car in front. I think it's kind of similar to DRS. It's just obviously, you know, you're within a second you get battery instead of you get the aero reduction. So, you know, here in Formula Trout today, that's not the case. It's kind of using the old rules. Boss it there really late on the brakes into the pit lane. Yeah, in the, you know, here we're not running DRS rules as we did before. So as in last seasons where you have to be within a second, we're not running that anymore because the car is designed to use the active aero. It really helps with the battery life because if you don't have the active aero, you're using more energy to keep the speed up because of the increased drag. But they trim the wings out and then you can use less energy down the straight and still maintain the high top speeds. and obviously the low lap times. So we're not running that. But then in Assetto Corsa, due to the limitations, maybe this will change in the future as more teams get used to these cars, more modding teams get used to the kind of regulation set. Maybe there will be some apps which allow this, but there's no real way to control the deployment in Assetto Corsa, so we can't lock out the boost, the extra 400 horsepower that these cars have when they're following. So you can just use it wherever you want all the time, which when battling can make things quite interesting.
Yeah, there's a car off right there. That's a Dacius.
Ignis Dorxis. It's a familiar name. It's someone returning to Formula Trout who we've not seen for quite a few years.
Yeah, Ignis Dorxis.
So good to see you back here, Ignis. I can't remember how to pronounce your surname, unfortunately, though. On that topic, though, there's quite a few returning drivers in the test race today, which is great to see. Obviously, interested in the new RSS car, interested to be racing here in the Premier Series again. Nico Bossert, for example, raced a few seasons ago. I think season 10 he was very active, and then season 11 kind of stepped back a bit, but you can see him back again here in the test race. Same with Kamishov and Ignis we just saw then as well, and I'm sure there's a few other names that I've forgotten. Olsen was obviously a very featured driver from the last series, and in the Lemon Series as well, winning the championship there, so he'll be maybe looking to challenge for the title this season in the Premier Series, see what he can do in the test race.
Yeah, reigning Lemon Series championship, the champion. Hopefully we get a season 2 of the Lemon Series, but now he's in this test race for Formula Hybrid X 2026. See how well he can do. Obviously, he basically dominated the Lemon Series with the RSS Prototype, based off the real-life Porsche IMSA car, so let's see if he can bring that pace over to an open-wheeler. It seems to be doing alright. C3s currently. He's in fast laps of 128.9. But Lawrence is at a 127.6, so Jesus. Setting the benchmark as well. Someone off right there. That is
the car up in the gravel there. Yeah, Ignis again.
Ignis again.
Must be struggling with that corner, but then again, that's what practice is for. We see
as we have a
Wagenwort. I believe it's Simon.
Yeah, it's Simon Wagenwort.
Yeah, good to see Sprint Series driver trying out the Premier Series.
Same with Max Brick here. This blue X26. But only a few seconds left in the session now. I think Cody Lawrence is on a lap, but I don't think he's going to improve. As Olsen improves to a 128.1. I think that lap from Lawrence may be a little hint of what we'll see in qualifying. A 27.2 is crazy on a C3 tire.
Yeah, I expect we'll see a lot of C3 tires, though. C3, C2 in the race, maybe. I don't think C4 is the popular tire here today. I think Nurburgring just did. Oh, it's Lawrence goes even faster as Brick spins there. Lawrence 27.2 went a little bit faster. But yeah, I think kind of the C4s, you'd think they'd work here because there's a lot of corners, but I think you can get them up to temperature. You struggle with the C3s, but then they just wear too quick, so in the actual race they're just not going to be useful. Unless you're on some kind of alternative strategy where you're having to do a two-stop, they're just not going to work.
Yeah,
so if you're having to run the C3s at any point, I think it's just you have to run the C2s, because if you run the C3s, you can't do a two-stop on the C4s. You just lose too much time. But the C5s, you can't do a two-stop on C5, C4. So
yeah, practice now over. I got a bit confused. The timer's counting up, but that just is, I guess, overtime. We're just waiting for the game to switch us over to the qualifying session. Yeah, I guess for this first test race with the X26, you got any predictions for who you think might be top of the field with this new car? Obviously, it's pretty hard to make predictions. Literally, no one has driven this car in an actual race setting, done hot laps, done raced it singular, but a very few of them have done like race stuff.
Everything's an unknown. I mean, Lawrence has been, pounding in the laps, and obviously last season's champion too, so definitely a favourite, but we just don't know how it's going to go in the race. He's been practicing race stints and things, but over a full race distance, how will the ARS go? How will the the active aero go? When it comes to racing, if you get stuck behind someone, what can you do? It's really tricky. So it will be interesting to see who does come out on top. I mean, I would have to say the favorite is Lawrence, but you know, could be anyone, definitely.
Yeah, obviously we have a few people here, different Trout Series, Lemons drivers, Sprint Series drivers. So it's going to be a very mixed up field of what people like to race and their disciplines of choice. Also, we have Thomas Barber here, a very competitive driver last season in the Premier Series. We have Dave Southwood, who we saw last test race, Steve Stevenson also, who were both competitive last test race, but obviously that was with the 23 car. So maybe we can see them jump off the field. Maybe they'll have to practice a bit more, we'll have to see. We're just waiting for qualifying now to start. That should start in a few seconds or so. We got the first qualifying session here. Formula Trout for this X 2026 car.
Someone hits the wall straight away.
As it's now starting, as we'll jump on board with, at the front of the queue, Cody Lawrence.
If you look at the tires, a lot of people are on mostly C3s, a couple of C5s there though.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Yeah, we have C3s, a C5 runner, a bit in the back. Grimanis, ooh, that's a bit of an incident. Already. That's Noriega and Brick. We'll go back to Lawrence, who's leading this field. We have a few C3s. We have a C5, another C5. Mostly, I think everyone's C3s. I think Southwood is actually on the C2s currently. Yes, he is. Southwood is currently on the C2s.
Yeah, I mean, Southwood is known for kind of going the alternative strategy, you know, the hard tyre in quali, running the long tyre in the race. Brave choice in a race of unknowns, but it might work out for him, obviously. You know, everyone on the same tyre, you're going to be in the same boat, but if you try something different, it might really work out for you. So it's interesting to see how that goes, and always interesting to see that Southwood trying, you know, the same trick in a different car. It has worked out well for him in the past. Took a few wins, few podiums doing that, so could translate over. Did a good showing at last race as well. Last test race, you know, back on the podium after penalties. Well, first time in a while, I think, so, you know, props to him for that. But here is Lawrence starting his first lap, the first quali lap in the Formula Hybrid X 2026 here in Formula Trout League.
Yeah, as on board with Cody Lawrence as he comes to this first sector, slowing down for these really tight corners, very awkward set of corners to get through. He's coming to a bit of a faster section, this long left hand that goes to a hairpin. You're going to have to make sure he doesn't head too wide to get onto that grass. We have to get the car turned in there, get all the weight transferred. As he goes past this car, I can't do this, I'm sorry, as he comes to this next hairpin. A slightly different line than the last hairpin, but comes out, doesn't get on that AstroTurf, as I have heard that the AstroTurf isn't too nice this car when it comes to gripping. Through the Schumacher S, the only corner name I really know here at the Nurburgring. Through these left and right corners. To lead onto the back straight in the next DRS zone because it's a bit wide. They are coming out, not the best exit. Through these little kinks, flat out easily in a Formula car. Brake for the chicane, super tight. Oh, is that a cut? I think that might have been a cut. Yeah, he backs out of it.
Lap over.
But Bossert is going to set the first qualifying time of the session. And set the benchmark. Nico Bossert, what he said, he's going to set a 127.1 off the bat, faster than Cody Lawrence's practice time. Olsen sets a 128 flat. Stevenson sets a 128 flat. Barberi sets a 130.4. And Jokier goes up to P4 for the 128.7. Everyone here on C3s. Southwood, I think, is currently on time. I want to see what he sets on a set of C2s. The harder compound. See all these C3 runners putting in the times. Southwood, the only one on the opposite strategy currently, but he's not on the pace at all on this lap. He may go for another one. I have heard about this car. I've heard the rumblings that for this car, it may take. I think you are able to do multiple runs on this car. I think with I've heard the rumblings about like the tires, and it takes a bit to get them into their peak performance via temps and all that. So I think a few of these guys may do multiple laps on these tires.
Yeah, you can do it. You really can in these cars. Like the tires. The temperatures are quite cold here around the Nurburgring, and even though it's quite an intense track, a lot of corners, a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of traction zones, it's still quite difficult to get the temperature in them. And with the way the ERS works, you don't have the charge lap, the deploy lap, the charge lap that you used to have. It's like a old LMP1 car where it's just recovering every braking zone, and then you dump it, and then recovering every braking zone, you just dump it again. So you can just do that every lap. You know, that's not the limit now. So, you know, Cody Lawrence coming out this car, and it's going to be full deploy until the next one, and then hard on the brakes, and then full deploy out the next one. So you don't need the cooldown lap. So as long as the tyres will take it, as long as you've got fuel in the car, you can just keep putting those laps in.
Cody Lawrence run 4 tenths down on Nico Bossard, who's currently on pole position on the same compound tires. See if he can make that up through the lap. But even so, I think that should still put him within the top 5 of this session. Obviously, we still have a lot of people who still need to set times. Cody Lawrence actually backs out of it. I guess he felt that that second sector kind of wasn't that good, or that first sector wasn't that good.
Sandbagging.
See, yeah, it gets out the way for, I think, that's Barberi. Yeah, that is Barberi. Barry stands on a 130.4. No doubt that he could improve, though. He has 2 personal best sectors in this section. Let's see how his third sector goes. So he goes to the P2 at 27.7. Still a bit off of Nico Bossard, but a big improvement on his time. In front of him, that's Hawk getting out the way, or locking up. I couldn't really tell which one he was doing there, but gets out the way for Barberi, who seems to be on another push lap, just right off the bat. The Stevenson sets a 28-point flat, or that's a car off the road. That's Skermanis off the road. Currently P9 in this session. Carlos in the grass. Make sure not to get in anyone's way. Not get a rejoin penalty. Southward, still the time still.
Incredible lap time in the pit lane.
Ooh, it seems there are a lot of people going off in this car. That's Bossard going off. It's your man in pole position with 12 minutes left in the session. Off on the side of the road. Mistake, or maybe trying to get out the way of Felipe Olsen, who we're following right now. Personal best first sector for Felipe Olsen. Currently sits third. He has a purple second sector, though. Still 2 tenths off of the Nico Bossard's time here in pole position. Let's see if he can get that. It's 2 tenths through the last sector. The last sector is mainly just this back straight plus the chicane in the final corner. A really long hairpin right-hander. But a lot of time can be made up through that chicane in the last corner. This is coming running to this hairpin. Seems like it's a good exit, a bit squirmy. Comes to the line, he sets a 27.9, just stays behind Barberi. You go on another run to see if you can improve on that. I think Barberi is just cross line 2, hasn't improved. Barberi actually, I think, a lap. Yeah, he's right behind Olsen on lap. I guess we'll watch
these two
together.
Well is the track's going to rubber in as the session goes on. It started at a lower grip, so the more laps they do, the faster it's going to get. The temperatures are changing as well. The track's just heated up, so we could see faster lap times. It's easy to switch the tyres on when the track does get hotter, so we maybe start to see the lap times falling soon.
Yeah. Also, yeah, temps. Also, with these tires, again, I've heard like temps play a big part getting these tires into the range, trying to get the peak performance out of them, especially in a quali run. I think some people may be doing just, the regular do a run, go back to pits, refuel, but I think a few of these guys are doing multiple runs, just one after another. Just obviously taking cooldown laps to recharge ERS. What it's reminding me of is Sakir in 2020 at the outer layout we're in, where you had them doing multiple runs, not for tires, but just that the ERS that you need to do like 2 cooldown laps for ERS or whatever, just due to how short the track was. As Cody Lawrence gets up with the pole, a 126.9. We finally breaking into the 126s. Beats Nico Bossert by 2/10. And I think he is still on a run. We'll see his first sector how it appears, but we're finally into the 126s now. 9 minutes left to go in this session. Roughly 10. 2/10 down to Lawrence's on his previous lap time. I don't think he'll improve that much through the second sector. We'll follow him, see what he can do. A car off there. He gets past a few of these cars getting out the way for him. He goes to this hairpin, and now it's heading to the Schumacher S. I think the sector line is just after the Schumacher S, or a little bit into this, a little bit after the left-hander. Yeah, just before this section. Yeah, 3/10 down. I don't think he will improve. This is very little time gaining opportunities in this last sector. Again, just the chicane in the final corner with that really long right-hander, the hairpin. Southward is actually, I guess, kind of gone with the crowd and put on some C3s, goes with the P8 with the 129.2. Ooh, that's a car going straight off. Ooh.
They're definitely going straight off.
I think a bit of internet issues for the driver there, as we're on board with Olsen now. Not on board, but we're following him. Also, it's P3. I think his last lap was all personal best sectors, but Nico Bossert is on a flyer. We're going to catch him as he crosses the line. Purple first sector, personal best second sector. He retakes pole position at 26.6. We are improving at a rapid rate in these qualifying times between these top two, between Lawrence and Bossert specifically. Cody Lawrence has set a personal best second sector. He's around 2/10 up. So we'll follow him, and Steve Stevenson is also up on his time. Steve Stevenson on 27.2. And though Lawrence is just 25 hundredths down on Bossert time-wise, he can definitely get. Oh, as he loses the car! He loses the car out of that right-hander and spins, catches it. I don't think it's too much damage, but he's definitely lost the car and he heads into the grass. I think he's trying to get out of the way of these incoming drivers as Stevenson crossed the line of 27.1. Yeah, that's a big moment for Lawrence. I'm very sad we weren't on board to catch that. But yeah, just got the car stuck on that raised curbing on the outing. And yeah, he's definitely going to pit, repair that damage, and see what he can do from here. He's definitely in contention for a pole. But as he was on the pace there to really steal it, but just that slight mistake, getting onto the curbing, ruined that lap that could have theoretically been pole position, taken back from Nico Bossert. Check if anyone else is on pretty good laps. I think Thomas Berry has just started one, but it does not seem like he has improved. He hasn't set a personal best sector. He has improved on his first sector as Cody Lawrence really back out in front of him. In front of him is Andrand. He's P10 currently in the session. Yanis Andrand. As, ooh, that's someone spun. That's P11, the guy right behind him, Lex Noriega. No Guerra. Spinning. As a Bossert trying to get past him. I think he was on a crawly one, kind of got blocked there though. Don't think it's going to help his lap times with the pursuit of keeping pole position. No, he was actually down this time, so no, he's not on the lap currently. He's seen some pits. And so we'll have to wait for him to come out until another time. This joke here has set a personal best first sector. Let's see if he can improve on his position of P7 at 128.4. The driver in front of him, Southward, has set his best time as a 127.7. So this is a bit of a gap, but hey, maybe he has a pretty big improvement in this sector. But now he's running 8 tenths down on Bossert. Ooh, as a driver blocks his path. Who is that? That's Nogueira again, spinning, blocking Jokier's path, and I think he might just back out of it. Now, that may have ruined his lap. No, I think he is still going for it. It still was an improvement on his second sector, but I just don't think he's going to improve as he's slow through the final corner. I don't think he's pushing. Yeah, 5 seconds down and not enough to improve against Southwood. Southward, my bad. And speaking of Southward, he's in 6th position right now. So let's see if... I don't think he's on a competitive lap. He may have just left the pits. Go check the live timings. I think Nico Bossert's on a lap. He's at a purple first sector. Once again, he's going to try to solidify his pole position, I guess. He is very much on a good lap. Let's see what it clocks in for a second sector. We'll go on board with him through these last few sectors, get a bit of onboard action at full qualifying trim with these cars. He's improved on his time by 89 hundredths at this point in the lap. Let's see if he can keep that improvement up by the time he crossed the line through this easy flat kink. Using all the track, and now for the chicane, let's see how late he brakes. Turn in on time, avoiding those big sausage curves at the apex of each of those turns and keeping it tight at this hairpin downshifts. But quickly again through the gears. See that DRS with the front wing open. He does improve to a 26.5, a couple hundredth improvement. But that just further solidifies his.
Olsen just moved up to P2 as well in front of Lawrence.
Yeah, Olsen 26.6. Lawrence 26.6. Also, just a few hundredth down as that's a driver off. That's Kim shove in the grass. And oh, Lawrence seems to be on a good lap too. He's only 9 thousandths down on Bossert with 2 minutes 30 roughly to go left in this qualifying session. As he's coming through the end to this, as he's coming to the end of this first sector, coming out of this hairpin and now going into the Schumacherettes. Let's see if he can improve on Bossert's time and his own time. In fact, as he's coming to the sector 2 line, let's see what he sets. See how far off he is. No, he's actually better than Bossert. 2 tenths up. Cody Lawrence is on. I can't think of words. He's on track to steal pole position once again from Bossert in this session. For I don't even know how many times he's done it, but he's 2 tenths up. Let's see if he can keep this momentum through the last chicane. Oh, a bit bouncy. I think he might have lost a bit of time there, but he's going to run to this last turn, this long right-hander. Feels all the track. Pedal to the floor. Let's see what he sets. Sets a 26.565. Again, just a few hundredths difference. These guys are so close in the top 3. It's insane. Olsen, Cody Lawrence, Nico Bossert, and Felipe Olsen. Your top 3 within hundredths of each other. It's a tenth between them, I think. Your top 3. Cody Lawrence 2 tenths down on his own time. It's currently now a provisional pole. But Bossert has now just left the pits. I think Olsen is ahead of him. On track.
Not sure if Bossert will get another lap in. I think he's cut it too close there.
Bossert, yeah, he's cutting a bit close. 126. I think he won't make it on time. But we'll have to see. Lawrence, though, if he is doing multiple laps, will most definitely get a second run and a second shot to improve his own lap time at 26.1565 on the C3 tires. As I know, I think he's backed out of this lap, but yeah, it seems he's just prepping for this next lap, probably having to regen the ERS. As the ERS, it's very big on these quality laps. You have to use it at very specific points, make sure you're using it on the right way. And I know Lawrence has really been messing around with those ERS modes and trying to figure out the best way to use them. We'll follow him as he goes across the line for his final push lap here in this qualifying session. Performing with Trout. He comes to turn 1. Seems pretty good. A bit of smoke, but it seems pretty solid. He's coming through this long right-hander. Car on the side. Gets out of his way. See if he can improve on his first sector. As we'll come to line, no, he's running a 10th down, a 10th and a half down. So not an improvement in the first sector, but he still, I feel, can probably gain it a bit in the second sector if he's with a good one. That's a car spinning in front of Lawrence. You can see just in the corner that southward. This, hopefully he gets out the way for Cody Lawrence here, coming through into the Schumacher S, and yeah, he stays off the track and it gets out his way. Ooh, that's a car backwards. That's Nogueira again. Probably give Cody Lawrence a bit of a scare and probably shook him up for this lap. They can't find him now again. Cody Lawrence not setting the best of times. He will not improve, I don't think. But Bossert said a purple first sector will follow him as well as Lawrence. Lawrence is going to come to the line. What will he set? Comes to the line. Cody Lawrence is going to set a 126. Yeah, he's not going to improve. He's just 100th down. There we go. Nico Bossert in P2. Purple first sector. Personal best second sector. What will he do for the third sector? Is the car's coming in his way? No! His hopes for pole position have been slammed by Android in P10. There is no way Bossert could have avoided that. That was such a good lap from Bossert. He was up on Cody Lawrence. Cody Lawrence qualifying's over, and that's Bossert's qualifying over. And Felipe Olsen doesn't seem to be improving that much. Didn't get the best second sector, but no, he's back in the pits now. He didn't believe he was going to improve. And what a shame for Nico Bossert. Was on the lap of his life here at the Nurburgring. Just to see it all crumbling down from a car losing it and just getting in the way. Wasn't his pit box. That's qualifying over. I think that car just ahead of him. No, it's actually not in the pit. He's rolling on the track. DRS. He's still on the track. He's probably coming back into the pits soon. But Cody Lawrence is your pole position. He's on pole position for the race here at the Nurburgring. What could have been for Nico Bossert? I think it's someone hitting him. As that's the damage. Oh. That's the damage received from Android. You get to see Andrand on his steering. He can barely turn. He's really flicking that wheel around, trying to get into the pits. But Cody Lawrence, I think actually maybe out of fuel. I think he's getting pushed to the pits by Barbarian. Oh no, he's not out of fuel. That's him on the gas. Actually, I think he is, but yeah. What a shame for Nico Bossert. What do you think of that session?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, Lawrence obviously setting quite a few lap times, very, very close to Bossert with what looked to be an amazing lap. Just, yeah, nothing he could have done there. I mean, we saw it coming on the stream from so far off. I'm sure Nico saw it coming as well from so far off. But what can you do? You're fully committed to that lap. You're fully committed to the time. You know you're up. You're going to have to go for it. And you just see this car spinning, getting close to the track. And then, yeah, very, very unfortunate. Still, though, all drivers so close together in quali. The gap is like a 10th between the top three, which is incredible to see. Will be really interesting to see how this goes in the race. Obviously, Nico had maybe some extra pace there wasn't able to utilize it. So will he be able to utilize it in the race? That's a big question, and I'm quite looking forward to see how this turns out.
Yeah, Cody Lawrence on the pole. Nico Bossert is going to be a really close rival, it seems. Hopefully this turns out to be a pretty good race with how close, especially these top 3 are in qualifying. I think the session should switch soon. It does. Will it do, oh, okay. The session switches soon. So yeah. I guess, what are you hoping for in a race in this new generation of car? I guess.
I'm interested to see on the strategy, how it'll go. I mean, most of the field starting on C3s by the looks of things, but will there be some alternative strategies going on? Will someone try and do a 2-stop C4, C4? With the tyre temperatures, we could see that happen, because it could, you know, if you can switch them on quick, it could really work. You know, if you switch to the C2s, it takes you 5 laps to get them up to temperature. You're losing a second a lap. It'll be kind of interesting to see how that goes. So
yeah,
I do realise what the problem is here.
Huh?
Do you realise what the problem is you're having here?
Yeah. Oh, I'm okay. I think it's just waiting to load. This is a bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyone watching the stream, we're testing a back to pits thing here, where we've locked out back to pits, but because of that, it seems like the stream car may not be able to go back to pits.
I think don't we have the ability to just teleport someone back to pits?
I think an admin does, yeah.
Am I an admin?
I think so. You go open the chat app.
Well, I don't want to miss the start.
Oh,
You're starting. Here we go. Formula Trout. Race 1, test race 2. As it's lights out and away we go for Formula Trout. As my back to pits key is still not working. Cody Lawrence still in the race. We're gonna have to. We'll watch. You know, we'll pull a smart idea. We'll pull a smart idea, Alex. We'll watch this first half of the lap though. Cody Lawrence still leading this race. Gets a good turn 1. Sorry for the bit of chaotic stream. I have to hope this works. But Cody Lawrence still leading this race. Bossert right behind. Steve Stevenson getting ahead of Felipe Olsen. I think Olsen has dropped back a good amount. Yeah, he's dropped back a good amount, Olsen. As Cody Lawrence still leads this race. Steve Stevenson a really good start. So is Barberry. Olsen losing a few positions into this race. Into the start, into turn 1. So not the best start from the reigning Lemons driver in the dirt series. That's someone spinning off in the back. Oh, that's Max Brick, I think, spinning off. As we're now reaching the second sector, and just to be safe, I will pull off my plan right now. So if we do not back to pits, we have to leave the server. Now back to pits, so we are missing a bit of the race, but I think you guys would rather...
I will just keep you updated on the live timing. So we have Cody Lawrence in P1, Nico Bossert P2, Barberry up to P3 at the start, Southwood in P4, Felipe Olsen losing out. We've just had a bit of a collision with Max Brick. Looks like he's come together with Kamishov, but they're going okay. There's been a bit of an off. It looks like Ignis and a few other cars, Brick, are kind of further down the field, but yeah, most of the field getting on lap 1 okay. Lawrence still in the lead, followed by Bossert at the end of lap 1 here. The stream is back, hopefully.
Hopefully. As we should be back underway very soon.
Perfect.
Oh, there we go, there we go. As we'll switch over now. Sorry about the inconvenience to our viewers. As we're back. Yes, everything will be sorted out, hopefully, for race 1 of the actual season. But this is a test race, and then currently leading this test race, Cody Lawrence is in P1, a second ahead of Nico Bossert. As I think, who was that in the pit? I think someone just went back to pit. I think someone is actually pitting. I think that's correctly. This one in P18. That is Ignis pitting in P18. Is that a... Oh, I think it is in P17. Yeah, it's Steve Stevenson in P17. Seemingly he's been caught But we're off the broadcast and some contact or his own mistake we'll have to see after the race. But he's down in P17. It's not the best start for the American driver. But on the other end of the field, an American driver is leading this race. Cody Lawrence. Nico Bossart's very close behind us. We have a pretty close battle there. Southwood, very close to Felipe Olsen in that DRS range. Now, Alex, you know how DRS works this race?
There is none, basically. Well, there is, but they can use it anywhere.
Yeah, this active air, they can use it anywhere. It's available all the time. Kind of like how old DRS works back in the early 2010s. Just use it anywhere, you know. Sebastian Vettel going through Eau Rouge. The DRS Open is Southward gets a bit squirmy there. Yeah, again, Sebastian Vettel going flat out through Eau Rouge with DRS Open. It's not exactly like that. You can only use it through predetermined zones. But it is...
Use it wherever on any lap. Doesn't matter how close you are to the car in front. So even lap 1 you can use it. Just something different.
Yeah, very different than what we're used to with the... Very different than the previous generation having to pay very attention to how close the cars are to each other. Cody Lawrence is still in this race as Bossart has spun off.
Oh.
Bossart has spun off. That's him out of this race, or he's I think that he has spun off because he was in the gap of his own, and that's the man who was in contention for pole position got it ruined, and I doubt this is how he wanted his race to go. So shame to see him spun out of this race. Just dropping down the field, currently P11. You probably... Whoa, is that a car spun? Right there, that's P17. That's Lex Nogueira. Was spinning in qualifying, spins here in the race too. Good one is team this race. Barberi 3 seconds behind, 4 seconds behind almost. Also 1.4 behind Barberi. So let's see if Felipe Olsen can catch up to Barberi by the end of this race. I will just do this to help me out. There we go. 18 cars in this race. See how this turns out. Flap 4 to 39. Things have calmed down. We have someone who sadly was in contention for the win out. Nico Bossart. Down the field now. I think he is still driving though, Bossart. So Steve Stevenson as well. Those Bossart's fully out of this race, and yeah, it's a shame. Felipe Olsen, second behind Barberi. Now, honestly, I wonder how this is gonna work, because if everyone has DRS, I feel like it really has no effect on these straights then.
You gotta use the ERS, you gotta use your
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're gonna have to use your ERS and kind of manage it a bit more now than usual. As that ERS is super powerful, so you're gonna have to use it at the right moment to try to get past your opponents in this race.
It's a tricky one because you don't want to run out at the end of the lap, but you know, if you hold it for a bit longer down that start-finish straight, you can maybe sneak up to the inside into turn 1, but if you run out by the end onto the back straight, then you'll just get repassed again, so it's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah, here's Max Brick in P13 chasing Ryan Hawk, not for points, but just for position. 7/10 behind. Brick is to Ryan Hawk, a bit squirmy coming to that left-hander, now into the right-hander. A few tenths there. He has dropped under a second now, so that was very short-lived, but he still will be chasing. I think he is getting a slight bit through this chase. My bad. As Southwood is actually 4/10 behind. Well, it said 4/10. Oh well, I guess they're going through a corner. He's not too far behind 4th place Jokier, and behind him is Dmitry Kamashov in a 6th. So these guys are in a pretty decent pack, and we might see some battling between these three. Oh yeah, look how close Southward is. 5/10, 4/10 almost now. Activates DRS. Let's see if he'll use some ERS. No, I don't think you will. It's not really pulling that much. The pull with ERS is very strong in these cars, from what I've seen personally from testing. So we'll have to see how battling between these three turns out. Yeah, they're really close together, and 6 laps in, I think this may be the main battle for now. As he falling through, I think Word didn't get the best, Southward didn't get the best line through there. Coming in to this second half of the track, coming into Sector 2, still very close. I think Joker is just staying just fast enough to stay ahead. After that, we saw how the ERS, how do you think the ERS is going to be in the race? Because I don't know really how fast. I really haven't seen how fast. I've just heard that the state of charge is pretty fast on this car. You can recharge the engine really fast on this car, but you can also deploy it very easily.
Yeah, so it's the amount per lap that you have to worry about. Here at the Nurburgring, you can just deploy out every corner and you'll almost certainly have enough energy, but it's at the end of the lap, the overall deployment through the lap. Well, I don't know how much it is, the megajoules. Not sure what it is now, but you'll run out. So if you get it wrong coming out that last corner there, you would just have no drive. You would be so slow.
Yeah, so I guess ERS management is going to be a key for this race, especially for out of that last corner. And I feel out of a lot of these corners where, especially maybe even that back straight that leads into the chicane, if you don't get a good run through there and someone is just deploying the ERS, putting full beans on their engine, I think it's a pretty easy pass, all things considered, especially with the DRS zone. Dave Southwood still in the middle of these two, 4th and 6th place cars, as they are catching up to someone.
I think that's a lapped car.
I think that's a lapped car. Max Brick, I think he's trying to get out the way now. Yeah, he is getting out the way. Goes wide, lets Dave Southwood through. Stays ahead for the last corner. But I think eventually he will let Dimitri through, and yes, he does let Dimitri through. Don't think he interrupted this battle a little too much. I don't think he interrupted too much. All of them are still pretty close together. Southward has dropped just a bit under a second, but now he's back in it. It's another lap car. They're chasing. You saw Joker there. Try to get in there, slipstream for just a split second. Do you know any of the expected strategies of, as you were talking about strategy earlier with these tires? Obviously C3 is a favorite. Do you know what they might pit to, if anything?
I think maybe expect to see some of the cars pitting from around lap 15. Lap 15 to 20, I think, is kind of the range for C2s. But just a little under half distance, obviously the C3s and C2s. Kind of how it's going to fall. You're going to want to run the C3s for a little less time, just because they are the softer compound than the C2. So yeah, I think probably like 15, 16, if someone wants to try the undercut, could see people starting to pit. But then with warm-up, you know, if you can't get the tyres up to temperature when you're going to do that undercut, you'll just lose out. So yeah, the overcut could work here even.
And we'll see how everything plays out. This race is still very long, 8 out of 39 laps to go. We're going to be coming onto lap 9 very soon. And Cody Lawrence crosses that line, leading this race 7 seconds ahead of Olsen. This right now is our closest battle, as Cody Lawrence is the fastest lap of the race at 128.5. As we'll keep watching Dave Southwood. Let's see, maybe he's close enough now. 6/10 the gap. Both DRS is open. I think he is maybe close enough. No, just not getting that much on the straight. I need to see someone deploy full power just down one of these straights eventually, because I want to see that crazy slipstream down one of these straights. Because you've seen it too, Alex.
Say again, sorry.
The slipstream, especially with putting that ERS on the override mode.
Yeah, it's quite extreme, to put it one way. Like, if you deploy differently to the car in front, the closing speed can be
Oh!
34. Southwood loses
Dave
it.
Southwood just getting the traction all wrong. Maybe he was doing what we're talking about, using the ERS out the corners and just lost the rear end there.
Well done for keeping it out the wall, but that is that battle over. But yeah, what I was mentioning with that draft, it's not really the draft, the slipstream, the ERS is kind of the big deciding factor there. And as I was saying, out the last corner, it's if you didn't deploy out the last corner, if you ran out earlier in the lap, you would lose maybe 3 or 4 tenths just in the exit of the corner, and then you're going to be losing that for the whole straight. So you're almost guaranteed to lose the position if you get it wrong. So it's quite a game of chess in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, like, the ERS management is probably going to be a bit harder on this car with just how much the engine relies on the ERS now. I think it's, again, like, almost 50% of the power is made by the MGUK now, if I'm correct.
I believe it's about 60-40.
64, yeah, so it's even more than I thought.
Well, 60% from the car, from the engine, and then 40% from the battery, from the motor.
Ah, okay. But still, it's a much bigger part of the power overall output than the current generation they're running this weekend. I guess at Abu Dhabi, since that's this weekend.
I mean, it's huge because it's not just the power; it's how it's delivered. You don't need the revs, the RPMs to get the torque, to get the power. You just press the button and the power comes. It's the same power no matter what speed you're going. So if you press that button when you stopped, the rears are just going to spin because of how it's geared and how the electric motor works, obviously. So it is like a rocket ship when you do press that button. It's unbelievable, really. It doesn't handle how you would expect. It's like an electric car, of course, but you have the engine on top with the gears to get that top speed.
Yeah, I think both me and you have driven this car. Obviously, we're not. I wouldn't say I'm fast as these guys. I don't know if you would want to kind of give yourself a bit of ego and say you're a bit close to these guys, but I'm not close to these guys. But I did drive the car, and that ERS boost is insane when you do use it, especially in slipstream.
Yeah, it's unusual, put one way. I'm just trying to see what my lap time in practice would have put me on the grid. I did a 1:27.8, so about a second off these guys, 1.2 seconds off in practice, which isn't very good. But I didn't try to do too many laps, so I'd like to think I would get closer if I was racing here today. But maybe we'll see in the season.
Yeah, so far we're getting probably a bit closer to the pin window now. Lap 11 out of 39. Here we said around 15, 16. We'll see if you lap it. Obviously, you have to account again for a bit how hard these tires are to warm up. So maybe we'll see a bit earlier to just not lose too much of a gap to some people. We do have a C2 runner within the top 10. P8, and that's Chris Mass on the C2. He's in a bit of a gap on his own, but he still is on the ultimate strategy and still will go a bit further than most of these guys. His car list is off. P7. Oh no, he's not off. I think he was just going through the chicane. Oh wait, I actually think he might.
He was
have...
off. He
was off. Like the camera angle just kind of messed it up for me, but I guess he was off. Yeah. Lost a bit of time to southward in 6th place. On the ultimate strategies, on the main strategy team everyone's taking, which is sticking on those C3s and probably pitting within these next few laps. Well, we'll have to see. I think that's behind him. Behind him is 4th place. It's Jokier. So obviously test race. Obviously test race people are still trying to get a handle of this car, and this test race is to just help people understand. Ooh, that's very late braking from Dimitri right there. Going to the Schumacher as he's very close now. Please just dump that ERS onto the back straight. Oh no. think he might have been
Yeah,
carrying a little too much
yeah.
speed in the Schumacher S. Unlike the previous cars, it's a bit more tricky in this. Let's car off on the side. It's just a bit too far out.
It is actually interesting through the Schumacher S here in these cars because, you know, in most Formula cars for kind of the last probably 15 years, the Schumacher S has been flat out. In this one, if you press the button up to the Schumacher S, that you've got so much acceleration, so much power, you're actually approaching it so fast that the car just doesn't have enough grip to give. And you'll probably lose the rear through the middle of the Schumacher S. So I think that might have caught out Kamishov there. He's just tried to, you know, stay close, use the button a bit more, and he's got a bit loose mid-corner and ran a little wide. Nearly lost the car, but obviously held on to it, and he is really on the back here of the car in front, really eyeing up another attempt at an overtake soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's very close to Jokier in 4th place. Dimitri very close. Obviously, and even if he does lose time, obviously, we just saw there, he still stays pretty close. I think he might have been deploying there. Obviously, there's sadly no display or lights like the 23. On the 23, I do know if you're on board, you could look at that little light on the steering wheel to see if they were deploying.
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure it was a 23, or it could have been another RSS car, but I know if you did look at the wheel and there was a little light, you could see if they were deploying.
Car in front. Could be his chance.
See, nothing on the steering wheel to really indicate if he's deploying. No, I don't think he is, though. He's not pulling that. Oh, yeah, he definitely was deploying. As there you go. Just a whole lot of overspeed into that chicane. And yeah, he just dives the pits.
The undercut.
On the undercut now, he's very close. So it could be very tight. Goes into the pits. This is going to be our first pit stop of the race. Actually, I do think someone else is coming into pits. Someone is pitting. That's Yanis pitting, and I find Dimitri again. He's in the pits. He should be coming out now, and yeah, he comes out onto the C2 tire. C2 it is for Dmitry Kamishov. He's 23 seconds behind the next car, which is Jokier. See where he comes out. See what this guy pits on. Yanis. Oh, he's gone. His car has disappeared. So I think that's actually him out of this race. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. The Jokier is still heading on. Let's see if he responds to that pit stop from Dimitri. Come through the last sector right now. We're coming into the last sector. He's still not in it. There we go. He's past the line. 3rd sector now. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he responds again to that pit stop from Dimitri. 23 seconds, Dimitri's back. So he may actually have to respond, as Dimitri is on newer tires. No, he doesn't. He stays out. 23 seconds though. If that shortens any more, he'll have to respond, and that's Max Brick P10, last of the points runners, coming into the pit lane. See if he does anything interesting with his strategy, but behind him we have Carlos in 6th. He's on C3 still. Max Brick. He comes onto a set of hards too. I think yep, C2s. So the hard tires. So Max Brick coming out the pit, set of hard tires, still in 10th place. So let's see if he can maybe catch up to someone in front of him. What I'm wondering is, when are these leaders going to pit? I think the main battle here, though, that's about to happen is Felipe Olsen, Thomas Barberi. Thomas Barberi is only a second and a half roughly behind, 1.8 to be more specific. As Cody Lawrence pits. Cody Lawrence is in the pits. The race leader pitting. Let's see what he will pit for. I think he's around the mid portion, or around the middle of this pit lane, so he should be turning in soon. No, he's at the rear. He's at the end. He's at the bottom. Second to last pit box. Felipe Olsen passes. That's Barberi passing him. And now we're watching Barberi chase Cody Lawrence, as it's Cody Lawrence Interesting decision. C4s.
Huh. Interesting.
C4s. That is his second softest compound on the Formula Hybrid 26. Obviously, it's still the same compounds as last time, but he's on a very different strategy, I feel, than to most. I feel most, at this point, would pit on to hards. He has gone to the softer compound.
Must be a two-stop then.
Yeah, I was going to say, it has to be a two-stop now, if he's going onto the softer tire. Obviously, this is a test race. Obviously, there's no championship on the line, so it is very much up to him if he wants to just go for the win for fun or just experiment and prepare, and I think he's just experimenting. Experimenting if it can be done, a two-stop. We'll see how that pans out, but Barberi is just now broken into under a second. Oh, as Felipe Olsen, that's why Felipe Olsen pits. He felt Barberi was getting a little too close. Pits, let's see if he follows the herd into pitting for the harder tire, or if he sticks to C2s like the rest of them. Six like C. So Cody Lawrence C4s, 6 seconds behind Barberi, and I think Felipe Olsen, yeah, and Felipe Olsen has followed suit. He has followed suit, and he's on the C4 tire. These, obviously, Barberi, Lawrence,
Just
and Olsen.
P4 as well.
Yeah, Barberi, Lawrence, and Olsen, very fast guys, and very much probably some of the guys to put in the most amount of practice and laps on this car. Do they know something the rest of the grid doesn't about tires for this car? I would have felt it would have been a pretty easy decision just to go into hards like most of these guys have, but no, these guys are trying something very different. I feel that soon enough, Barberi is also going to have to come to the pits, maybe even this lap. He probably will have to come to the pits to respond, as Lawrence is only 5 seconds away. And he is very much cashing due to that much softer tire. Right now, Barberi stays out, and we'll head into lap 18 with still an old set of C3s. But Cody Lawrence is definitely, most definitely catching. Cody Lawrence has the fastest lap of 27.5. It's the fastest lap of the race as for now. Lap 18 at 39. We've almost reached the halfway point. Reach the halfway point. Halfway into the next lap, Barberi completes if you're still leading by that point. But yeah, look at Cody Lawrence. 3.5, 3.6, 3.5 again, 3.4, 3.3. He is catching up. He's rapid right now. Oh, it's Barberi. I think I was wondering who spun. I think there's a bit of smoke. I think Barberi is gone. I think he's spun. I think he's left the session. I think he has spun.
Yep, out of the race.
Out of the race, it's Barberi. Out of the race. What a shame. I feel like, yeah, he was just about to pit it. Maybe he spun and got terminal damage and hit the wall. It seemingly from where he last placed. Yeah, he was by the wall, so I think it might have been terminal damage for Barberi, the Frenchman, and he's sadly out of this race. So I guess it's going to be a two-horse race now between Lawrence and Olsen. Olsen's 15 seconds behind, though, and on the same strategy, I think. Since soft tires, it's got to be a two-stop. As Cody Lawrence sets the fast lap again at 27.5 for the American driver in. And if I can recall words correctly, reigning Premier Series champion. Obviously, he won Season 11 of the Premier Series just before. Well, no, with a round to go, if I remember correctly. He won it at, I think he did win it at Greifswald. I think Christoph would be happy about that. That he won it at the custom Trout track. Mathematically, at least. after penalties and all that. Cody Lawrence is actually putting a bit more time between him and Olsen right now. 16 seconds a gap. He has raced at about around a second. There we go. As he's about to come across the line, we are past the halfway point in this race. 19 and a half laps is the halfway point of 39 laps. So we have passed it, and we're coming on to lap 20 to officially get halfway past this race. Halfway done. So we'll have to see if Olsen can maybe catch up, and most likely not on pure pace, but strategically try to outmaneuver Cody Lawrence, as they're both on this 2-stop. So I guess it really depends on when both of them decide to stop again, and obviously for a C4 tire. Yeah, I think Cody Lawrence is about to lap someone ahead of him. Yep, that's Max Brick and B9 going to lap, and yeah, we'll just have to see if Cody Lawrence can maybe keep this gap to Olsen, or if Olsen can try to close it up and beat this counter strategy. On board, we'll go follow Felipe Olsen, also on the alternate strategy C4s. See? Everyone else pitted for C2, so I think these guys will go in 2-stop. And you lose around 20, it seemed like it was around 23 seconds, 22 seconds in a pit stop around here at the Nurburgring. So we'll see if maybe even P3 currently, Dimitri can maybe get into this fight after pit stops, as he's just going to keep going. He's on the harder tire of the C4 after starting on the C3, so let's see if he can finish this race with his one-stop strategy from medium to hard. Is Felipe Olsen lapping Max Brick again? I do think he'll be lapping this car also. He does down the inside. That's Simon getting chased by actually Max Brick right now. This is a battle happening on track. Simon Wagnervort trying to defend from Max Brick for P11. As Max Brick kind of messes up there out of the corner, and now drops back from Wagnervort. That's going to be Simon coming down right now. He had to drive right on his rear end, and after a mistake, he has fallen back a good bit and will be able to keep his points paying position. P9. Actually, since Barberi is still updating on the leaderboard after his DNF. But he's gone wide. He's gone wide. Maybe Max Brick can capitalize. And yes, he's going to capitalize. He's going down around the outside. Can't stay side by side, though. He's very close, though, to Wagnervort. We've seen Wagnervort in the Sprint Series. We've also seen Max Brick in the Sprint Series. As Max Brick, goes a bit wide. And, just can't stay close to the corner after messing up the entry. DRS open for both of them. Not DRS, active arrow open for both of them. Max Brick really getting a run down the inside. No, he thinks better around the outside. Simon just placing his car perfectly. Max Brick just not being able to get ahead. He comes through this final corner. Maybe he'll get a run with the DRS and some overtake, some ERS here. Gonna come down. Max Brick around the outside. Let's see if he can make it stick. Around the outside goes Max Brick. I think he's gonna go for the switchback though. Outside turn to the outside again. Through turn 2, staying around the outside. No, but he sticks back. Thinks better of it. Thinks he could make it stick. Sticks back, and I think he might try to get it on a straight again.
The rears, after the time he gone, he's gonna have to close up again.
I'm sorry?
Locked the rears into the corner there. He's lost a bunch of time.
Yeah, Max Brick he's getting pretty close to Wagnervort though, so hopefully he can overtake him for There's that 2 points being position of P9 by race ends. Ooh, a bit of squirmy there, maybe an issue. This car, a bit of damage. He's a bit squirmy through the middle of the corner there. But 23 laps out of 39. We're coming very close to the end of this race. So you're a bit past the halfway point now. There's Max Brick still. Ooh, as Max Brick gets on the curbing. Still the same mistake from Cody Lawrence in qualifying. He just spins off the road. That's most definitely damage for the Sprint Series driver coming to test this Formula Hybrid machinery. It does come into the pits though. Maybe it's not as bad as it seems. I'd be shocked to see if I'd be shocked to hear if it isn't as bad as it seems. But yeah, we'll just have to see how this all plays out. Go back on board with leader lapping, if I can recall correctly, Carlos. Carlos stays in the lead, obviously, not for position. Lapped a few people. Well, here's Olsen, 15 seconds behind the leader. Also, we're just waiting for these guys' next pit stop. Waiting for these guys' next pit stop to come. See how that affects the running. Obviously, these guys, it's around 16 laps, around 15 laps with the C3s. So if I had to guess, it's going to be a bit of a shorter run on these C4s. Around like 10 to 13 laps. A few laps different. I'll have to see how it all plays out though. Should be close for these two on the front. Lawrence and Olsen to pit it once again. Lap 24, maybe around lap 26 to 28. See him pit. Luffy Wilson. Check his times, the live timing. Wilson, I think everyone's just kind of settled in now, trying to just get consistent laps in, and see how everything's gonna work for the actual season. Obviously, so it's gonna take a bit more practice. I think off the car is just so recent. I think it's gonna take a bit more practice to see how this car will work in the actual season and to get the most pace you can out of it. Hopefully that actual season starts soon. I'd love to see some Premier Series action. Alex, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to check if I wasn't alone.
Yeah, new season is coming up soon. Obviously, we're doing the test races here for season 12. We did announce that the season 12 will be starting in mid-November. We've took the that statement creatively and said the season's starting as the test race is starting, which they have done. So this is obviously test race number 2. We have test race number 2 next week, which will be at the same track as you see here, but it'll be using the Formula Hybrid V12R from RSS. So quite a different beast. It's the same car as this, the same chassis, but with a high output, high RPM V12 engine. So very, very different. Bit retro in a way, but you know, the future at the same time. So very cool, best of both worlds. And I think the drivers will definitely enjoy that. That's next week, same time slot as we have now. So, you know, a week from now you'll be seeing, hopefully, these drivers going around the track in that V12 car. We're testing quite a few different things for season 12. Maybe V12 season 12. It's meant to be. I don't know. I hadn't thought of that until I just said it, but it does work. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Obviously, when it comes to the actual season starting, we do have the holiday season coming up, of course, which is a lot of drivers might not be around to be partaking, but I think probably safe to kind of announce that sign-ups will likely be starting prior to Christmas, prior to the new year. So, sign-ups for Season 12 will be starting, and then we'll be hoping to start the season proper in early next year. Obviously, we'll have decided the car by then. We'll have announced the calendar by then, and then we can share everything with you. So we would love to see you there. Anyone who isn't part of the league, who is joining in on the stream, finding it on YouTube, I think the link is in the description below. We run everything via our Discord server, so yeah, just join the server, get involved, and you can have a go racing these cars. Obviously, sign-ups for next week's race are still open, so if you do want to try that V12 car, you can try that out. Just like I said, join the Discord server and sign up for the race. Love to see you on track, and then hopefully you can race in the season proper.
Yeah, also that V12, much different. It's much lighter too. I think it is even lighter than this car. And also, high RPM V12 engine, I think. Obviously, these V6s, I think they sound fine, but a V12 is a whole different beast when it comes to the noise. We're going on almost to... Oh, it's Felipe Olsen. A bit iffy, I think, on the curbing there on the inside. Just lost a second or two to Cody Lawrence. Is that someone spawned in front of us? Smacks a brick. Down P10. Has lost a good chunk of time to Simon Wagner, but still within that points position. Yeah. Cody Lawrence still leading this race. I think they have to be pitting soon. I don't think these C4s are going to last too much longer. Got on to them around lap 16. Saw them go around for 15 laps on the C3, so it should be, I think maybe like the next few laps they do pit for a brand new set. And also, I'm just noticing, yep, the Formula Trout logo on this car. Very cool to run the car. So Lawrence, not improving on any sectors, hasn't put in the best first sector yet. Still hasn't improved on his best first sector. Obviously, he's a bit into the stint now, so probably not going to happen, but a man can dream. In the last sector now, which is that I'm going to be on lap 29. 10 laps left to go in this race. Through chicane now. Could exit a bit over that curb. The final corner is going to be lap 29 at 39. Again, 10 laps left to go in this race. Cody Lawrence leads, holds second. And it's actually Joker third. So he's a bit off these front two guys, but we'll see how it does, how it goes. machines about to cross the line for lap 30. Right, 9 laps left to go in this race. Here's Neil. We'll go on board with Cody Lawrence. Wonder. Oh, look at what time I actually did pit. 14. Looks like 14 laps now. Laps, really? I thought they fit around. Yeah, so around lap 16, 17, these guys pitted. Yeah, so around 14 laps. Cody Lawrence has been on these C4s.
Maybe you can take him to the end. Maybe the C4s are when the car's light, when the... Well,
oh.
Then again, though, you think they'd run them in the quali, so... Hard to say.
I guess, yeah, the weight of the car does maybe really affects it. Obviously, less weight means less weight on the tires. It's not being pressed to the ground via the weight of the car, whatever. He's still going. 15 laps now on these C4s. Olsen just a lap behind on his. Just if it does take this to the end, it would be shocking. But Olsen pits. Olsen finally calls it a day with these C4s. See what he sets on doing with his car. Got the pits, and yep, just another set of C4s. Pretty obvious considering I don't think you're going to take a set of C4s to the end unless they had some secret setup we didn't know about. But yeah, just slapped on a new set of C4s, and now we'll probably head to the end of this race with 9 laps to go. Just Cody Lawrence. His lap times have been... This lap hasn't been a good one. He's almost 2 seconds down on his personal best. So we'll have to see if he comes in sooner or later. I think he does. Yeah, he throws it into the pits. Calls it quits on these C4s, and I think we'll follow in the steps of Felipe Olsen and just slap on a new set of C4s. He's coming in the pit lane. I think a few of the cars he lapped maybe coming down the straight sooner or later. Actually, check the track record. No, I think only Hawk will probably pass him unless he. Yeah, he doesn't pit. No, I don't even think Hawk will pass him. I don't think he's close enough. So Cody Lawrence comes out the pits on, yep, another fresh set of C4s. 9 left to end this race. He'll most definitely just go to the end on these. Oh! As Lawrence gets a bit squirmy there out of the pits. Lap 32 out of 39. And that V6-4 past our cameras for 32 laps seemed pretty nice. I'm very excited for the V12 though. Getting that V12 scream around. Obviously, I said earlier, it's a very futuristic car for such a classic F1 track. Obviously, this track has seen multiple generations of F1 cars, especially including its bigger brother that you've probably seen in the background a few times, the Nurburgring. Or not the Nurburgring, the Nordschleife, my bad. Obviously, F1 used to go there when they didn't really care about safety that much. And this track has seen the V8s, the V6s. Actually, I haven't seen the V6, I don't think, actually. The Nurburgring. The last Nurburgring race was in 2013, so I actually hadn't seen the V6 with IRL.
Yeah, they raced in 2020.
Oh, 2020. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot that happened. Yeah,
All Stars calendar.
yeah, basically. Yeah, but 2020, I guess, yeah, it has seen a lot of generations of F1 cars come and go, especially if it. And now virtually, it's hosting the 2026. Maybe we'll get another global pandemic in 2026, and we'll get to see these Nurburgrings on the calendar again for a one-off with these cars. Ooh, is it? I think that's Max Brick. I think getting slightly in the way of Cody Lawrence. Alright. Cody Lawrence comes down the back straight once again. I think to come on to slash Kane. Let's quarter into lap 44. See. Let's quarter on to lap 44 now. No. Bit awesome. Let's see lap times. Cody did set a purple sector 3 that lap, 30.4. He is currently up on his delta on this lap right now, so maybe he can show the new fastest lap. Obviously, less fuel, newer tires. This last lap was a 27.4. He did set a good time there. He said that was his best lap. The last lap was a 27.499. 449, I mean. He sets a purple first sector. Coming into lap 34. Let's see if he can maybe improve his time, get a new fastest lap. Purple first sector. Let's see the second sector as he crosses the sector line here. Yep, another purple sector. 28.899. Coming into the second sector. Coming out of the second sector. Coming to the third sector now. Opens the active arrow. Down this back straight. He uses a bit of ERS on that straight to give him some time. Through the chicane, throws the car in. Out of the chicane, gets a pretty good exit. Had to straighten out the car a bit there. Like everyone else, holds it really tight and then goes out wide at the end of the corner to use all the track. So comes to the line, he's going to set a new fast lap of 26.5. So we're into the 26s again now. As he laps, I think that's the mean. Who is that actually? That is Ignacy laps. He's in 6th. Torrance having a pretty nice Sunday drive, well, Saturday drive. All things today in this race. 4 laps left to go. So Lawrence is going to go down through this first sector again. I guess since we're coming to the end of this race, and it is test race, Alex.
Yes.
Do we know where people are driving next season?
Sorry?
Do we know where people are driving next season? Obviously, sign-ups haven't opened up yet, but obviously...
teams?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I know a few, and there's a few we can make safe assumptions for. I'm 99% sure the younger lineup will be the sprint lineup, essentially. So Lawrence and Thomas, which should be a very strong lineup.
Lawrence Thomas?
Yeah.
That's going to be a strong combo.
But other teams I'm not so sure on. I mean, myself at DAC Racing, Southwood is signed up for another season. Obviously, I think the longest running partnership, let's say, in the Formula Trout League between DAC Racing and Dave Southwood. Now it's been basically 7 seasons now, I think. So very happy to keep that going. Obviously, Dave, very good driver, puts on a lot of good performances. Unfortunately, has dropped back a little bit here, but you know, one of those things. Can't always go your way. But yeah, and I have signed a second driver, although I'm not going to reveal that at this time. But I know who the second driver for DAC Racing will be. I believe Olsen here is still at Griffin Gaming for next season. I'm not sure who he'll be paired up alongside. maybe Christoph Berzer will be back in the driver's seat, or maybe Andreas will come back. I'm not sure. Obviously, Griffin has quite a pool of drivers with the GGDR kind of conglomerate with DAC Racing as part of that as well, of course. But yeah, quite a few drivers in the pool, I think, for Griffin. Other teams, I think we've got a new team there. They raced, I think it's who was part of Ice Flow Racing in the sprint series.
Max
I'm
Coulson.
not sure. Yeah, Max Coulson and friends. I'm not sure who his teammates were, but I believe he intends on entering the Premier Series as well with his own team. Not sure what the name of the team it'll be, if it'll be the same or something different, but yeah, that's one to keep an eye out for. Obviously, a new team, new drivers, so could really kind of shake up the grid there. Regarding anyone else, obviously probably forgetting people. I don't believe Oxtan is due to make a return, unfortunately. Obviously, they participated in the last season for the first few rounds. I was one of their drivers, and then I dropped out, and the team pulled out from Formula Trout League for that season. Maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously,
But,
the opportunity with
a
new
lot of
teams.
drivers still on the market, so
Obviously, hopefully we get some new teams. Obviously, it's always good to see new faces in Trout. Which you can sign up for in the link description by joining our Discord, if anyone's watching.
Yeah, I was going to exactly just say that. It's a thing in Formula Trout if people aren't aware. Obviously, here at the test race, everyone's just in the stock liveries. But in the proper Formula Trout League series, the Premier Series, we run completely custom teams. So you have your own livery, you have 2 drivers plus reserves if you need them. This is the team's championship, and each team is your unique team. It's your team, whatever you want to name it, whatever your skin you want to run. That's all open. We don't assign teams or anything like that. So if you do want to enter your team, you do want to get involved, you can do that. Just supply a livery, supply your drivers, and yeah, you can see your team on stream, on track, competing for the Premier Series title.
Yep. Lap 38 39, and crosses this lap, Cody Lawrence will be starting the final lap at the end of this lap, obviously, as he just crossed for 38, but at the end of this lap, he'll start the final lap.
Yeah, Olsen with a very dominant performance. I mean, all that practice, it's a new car, and I said he was the favourite coming into it, but he obviously is the favourite. That practice clearly shows, you put that many laps practice in. It was over 100 laps compared to most of the rest of the field. We're nowhere near that, so really shows you put the practice in, you put the times in, and when you are a fast driver, such as Lawrence, it's going to show. And 23 seconds in front of Felipe Olsen there, and Olsen is no slouch at all. Very, very fast driver in Premier Series and the reigning Lemon Series champion. But yeah, not enough to challenge Lawrence on this day here at the Nurburgring on the penultimate lap here, coming through into the chicane, just about to start the final lap.
Yeah, we've been basically leading this race the whole day. Lap 39 at 39, the final lap, Cody Lawrence still leads, and as you said, all those laps of practice have come to help him here. It's pretty daunting. He's 23 seconds, a whole pit cycle ahead of Felipe Olsen. Really wanted to. He probably could pit for a set of C5s. Could have done what he did at the first race at Silverstone. Could for a set of softs and take that fastest lap, but he's not doing it here today. He's just going to keep it simple, stay ahead with his final lap. Cool, let's come to the first sector, leaving the first sector now, come to the second sector now. Comes hairpin. Gonna take one final run down to the Schumacher S. Come with him. Pretty clean line. Yeah, it's been this 26 car for a lot of drivers very, I guess, hard. I think that's the best word. This 26 car for a lot of the drivers has been very confusing and hard. It's been very tricky to learn for a lot of these drivers. But someone's putting the work in. Cody Lawrence with this pretty interesting car. With its torque and all its power and all its aero and active aero. He's done all the work. He's made it count where it needs to be. And Cody Lawrence wins here in the Nurburgring. He wins at the Nurburgring. All that practice comes to fruition. And yep, donuts at a test race. It's still a win. But good on for Cody Lawrence. A pretty dominant performance with this new car. First race in. A lot of people doing donuts here. Pretty good performance for the American driver. As someone's blown their tire. But yeah. Olsen's in P2, obviously. Jockey P3. Carlos Guinness P4. Mass P5. Ignis Dacius P6. Simon Weiningworth P7. Max Brick P8. Getting ahead of Ryan Hawk. And Dmitry Kashov finishes off the top 10. Hello. Just a little party here at turn 1. Oh my god. He's stuck on the curb.
I think he's making a bit of a mess of the curbs there. The track won't be happy.
Oh, there's just cars everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, the session should end in a bit once. I think everyone has crossed the line, yeah. End a bit. But yeah, we're gonna switch over now. I guess it's time for Cool 07. Do you think it's time for interviews?
If someone wants one, we can take it off.
Someone is, if you're waiting for one to give them an interview. Few of them are in the VC. You could just drag them, make them. Don't think anyone is waiting for an interview though.
We'll force them in. It's be very good to hear some drivers' thoughts for this new 2026 car. We might run it for next season. Sorry, for season 12. So it'd be good to see what they think of it. So you get some opinions from them whilst they're still, let's say, raw when they've just stepped out of the simulator, and kind of give an unfiltered view. It'd be interesting to see what they think.
Yep, so Cody Lawrence is actually in interview room, so if you want to pull them in for me. Hello? Hello?
Hello there.
Hello, Cody Lawrence. I guess congrats on the win. Test race 2 test races in a row have gone to you. So how are you feeling?
It would be nice if I got points for him, but I don't think we can negotiate that, unfortunately. Yeah, I hope the next test race goes a little better, because I think it was certainly one of the races of all time, I'll say.
Yeah, obviously you were very far ahead, even of Olsen, who seemed to be a bit at the start. It seemed to be pretty close, but then it just all spread out eventually.
It's a shame for Nico. I think he just got caught up in traffic generally. And
yeah, Nico, I think he got caught in an incident which he didn't catch it. But also in qualifying, he was on pace to beat your time by like 0.2 or something like that, and car absolutely just spun, and we just had to watch as a car just span in his direction into the chicane and destroyed his lap.
I knew there was more time in hand, and I figured Nico was going to be the man to do it, and that's a shame. I maybe could have challenged him into T1 if he's that involved, and I was happy with my launch, honestly. So Yeah, it's a shame for Nico. I know he's very, very quick, and um, I still don't know about teams for next season, but that was somebody who's rumored I might be able to team up with, and I know his level. It might turn into more like a Trout version of Max versus Checo, and I'd be Checo. So it's a shame to see him throw because I know he's very, very quick. So hopefully the next one we'll have a good race, we'll have a good battle, and yeah, it's kind of where my mind's at.
Yeah, well, I guess any thoughts on this new generation of car, this X 2026? Obviously, not in real life, not a real thing yet, but give it a year, it'll be in Formula 1 in real life. Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, I kind of hope this isn't the final form, especially for the sake of everyone who actually has to drive these cars in real life. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the V12 is what I'll say. I think that's the best description of this car. I'm looking forward to the V12, and yeah, there's some work to do with this, but I think they can. I think improve it. So that's about where my thoughts are. Sorry, I don't have too much to share, but that's kind of roughly where I'm at.
Yeah, well, I guess any closing thoughts for the test race? Anything you'd want to see for season 12? I feel like I ask this every time.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'm happy with the format. I'm happy to be racing here. I just hope we have a car that will give us one hell of a show. I don't think we had an amazing show for you guys tonight, so I hope the V12 can provide that. If it doesn't, I'm sure we have a good alternative to be able to put on that show. In some ways, it's performance, but also in some way it's entertainment. And I hope we can provide something entertaining. I don't think we did today, but I'm sure we can next week.
Oh, well, hopefully, you see next week here back at the Nurburgring with the V12 powered, well, Formula V12 R.
For sure. I hope so too. I hope we have a good show and good race next week. That's what I'm looking forward to. So thank you guys for streaming it. Sorry we didn't have the greatest races today, but we'll try to do better next week.
Alright, we'll see you next week then.
Alright, take care.
Take care. Alright, who do you want next? Good selection.
Yeah, we got the whole grid basically.
We'll get Felipe Wilson.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, Felipe Wilson, P2. I guess first of all, how was the race? How was the car, new generation? How was everything?
To be honest, I'm not too big of a fan. I don't like the whole, not even the implementation, but just the way the rule set is written with 50-50 split of ICE and ERS. It's I don't find it enjoyable at all. I don't like the manual deployment all the time. I think the V12 car drives much better, so hopefully we're gonna use that one for the actual season, because yeah, I don't enjoy driving this type of car, be it prototype or Formula car. Yes,
Yeah, with I guess then you're pretty excited for the V12 next week, same track.
oh yeah, definitely. I hope I can make the race because I have some to do just before, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I really like that car, so hopefully, yeah, the racing is also a bit better and more competitive, because that wasn't like, it was a test session pretty much, just driving around on my own, and probably Cody as well.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. I have anything else you want to add for season 12? Maybe what you want to see? Tell us who you're going to drive for, like, whatever. Like,
Well, I hope we stay, like, as many people turn up for the season as we had in the first and this second test race. Hopefully as I said, hopefully we do use the V12 version of the car, because I really enjoy driving that. Yeah. nothing more to add.
Alright, well, I guess we'll let you go, and hopefully we'll see you next week for the V12R, for the V12R race. I think it's the correct way you put those letters and numbers. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you next week, same track, new car, V12R.
Yep, see you guys.
Bye bye.
So, up next, we've been told that we're going to have a full press conference since we have so many people waiting, and it's going to take quite a few time to bring them all through. So we're going to bring them all in.
Alright, press conference.
Kind of get all their opinions.
Alright.
Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Oh, my.
Hello. We are having a press conference, a driver's press conference.
Thomas, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you are in the world. Quali good. Race less good. Car good in quali, not good in races.
Any thoughts on the car? How it drove? Anything off the new generation car?
Well, I hope it's not like this in real life, because that was literally atrocious. I think it's maybe the worst car I ever drove racing-wise. Like, you can't do any overtake, you can't do anything. That sucks.
And, I guess, well then, I guess most of you are pretty excited for the V12R race next week.
Yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it.
I agree.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
I believe the main issue with this raceability wise is the rather rough deployment, because in real life, even if the deployment will be as aggressive as it is in this, it would be mapped on the track, but here you basically have to switch on every corner exit, which the real people won't do. Otherwise you're just gonna get torque snap and spin out of the corner. I think that's the main issue.
yeah, so
From what I managed to roll, like to read, actually. Like, even the override button, like the override map that we have, it's like when you go over 330, I think, it's getting decreasing, like it's less powerful, like it should be in real life. But the issue is like the push button. It's kinda realistic in a way for some events, but like most of the time with the button, it's like not realistic at all.
I guess. So I guess anything you guys want to see for season 12, like maybe car, driver, track wise.
More street tracks, because I'm good at those. Jeddah.
12 rounds.
I want to see Jeddah.
Mexico.
Oh,
12
Jeddah.
rounds, Mexico City.
6 rounds. 6 rounds
Six
total.
6 round
12
championship.
rounds in Imola, please.
6 to 8 races. That'd be great.
Let's make one oval event at Talladega and send us all out.
Okay,
Well,
We should do one race on the Rainbow Race from Mario Kart.
Rainbow Road.
The track is existing as the course.
Alright, Monaco, Rainbow Road, Jeddah, Mexico City.
oh,
pretty
come
good
on,
though.
why does Jeddah fall in the mean category?
No, it falls in the category of I want to race on it. Because it's a good
It
track.
kind of falls in the mean category, but alright.
It's a good track. I
So Rainbow
promise.
Road, Jeddah, Monaco, and then Mexico City are the suggestions we have from our drivers.
Oh yeah, I've got one. So it's called Extreme Motorstorm, and it has an elevation which you've never seen before. It's ridiculous. So
We will take all these
it's
suggestions.
total American there.
We'll take all these suggestions and think about them, right, Alex?
Yeah, we'll definitely implement all of these. Absolutely.
What about
You see,
3/4 of
we
them?
take it. We are genius.
Wait. Alex, is there anything you want to ask them? Because I'm kind of running dry on questions.
No, I don't think so. I think, everyone enjoyed the race, I'm sure.
I got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, you can ask a question. You can go
Alex,
both ways.
what is your
Yeah.
favorite color?
I don't really have a favorite color. Depends what it is. I have different favorite colors for different things.
Alright, what's your
So
favorite
they-
color of eyes, like people's eyes?
Good question. I don't know. Brown, I guess.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When can we have more group press conferences like this? Because this is fun.
With webcam, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah. It's mandatory webcam for group press conferences, so we can implement this for season 12.
I gotta get my
Okay.
laptop out.
Driver press conference, preseason driver press conference. That should be a thing.
There we
can
go.
Get the biased nationality presses to ask specific leading questions to the
Yes.
drivers too.
You can artificially create drama by dragging in two
I'm
people
cool.
that took each other out.
We should have done that for the sprint
Max,
series. We
if I
could have had Maxi and Yap in after the sprint series races
Yes.
together.
After every race.
Yeah.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any questions for you guys. So thanks everyone who did race. Thanks for sharing your opinions on the car. Sure, the next test race will go a little differently, we hope, and you can enjoy that one a little more. But yeah, it was a good job for those who did race today, and yeah, thanks for showing up.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
One. Well, that's the end of our impromptu press conference between all the drivers. I think it's gonna call it an end for today. Oh, surprise appearance.
I really like that press conference. Oh wait, isn't it done?
No, it's not done. I was just about to end it. I guess we'll wrap this up real quickly. It was the end of the Formula Trout test race here at the Nurburgring. Thank you for everyone who stuck around and watched. A pretty dominant Could-Go performance. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you for the real thing in Season 12, and next week obviously for the second test race here at the Nurburgring with the V12, which even if you don't like how the car looks, the sound is very good. It's a V12. Hashtag bring back V10s to F1. We'll hopefully see you all next week and for the actual Season 12 with all the teams and drivers sorted out for all that. So thank you for watching. See you all soon. If you want to drive in Formula Trout, link in the description. Join our Discord. Follow us on Instagram. Use our RSS affiliate link if you want to buy this car. It helps support the Trouts. We'll see. I'm gonna end this now though. See y'all later. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.